This is Richland City Hall here in Richland, Washington, that has the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and service applied to the COVID-19 ever since the birth certificate from the administration office from Richland, Washington, Mr. Felix Barela, contents of the information, all the information, confidential information, the John F. Kennedy assassination 2 months after he showed up in Richland, Washington and had a speech. A living proof of Mr. John F. Kennedy having a speech in Richland, in the Queensgate area where they built the nuclear reactor called the Hammer Mill. A building and C building, A building, B building, and C building. And John F. Kennedy carries a executive order that's been carried on by Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, and also the executive order of signing the administration process for Richland City Hall, because they carry nuclear power, a nuclear arraignment, and also dropping the atom bomb on Japan. They call it New Mexico. People call it Richland, California. People call it New Mexico. They call it California. They call it, the original document itself is Felix Barela and has the Richland address on it, which is John F. Kennedy assassination plot. And this is the old city hall that was removed from Richland, Washington. And the contents of my birth certificate was filed for me. Trying to store files across the street. Now this is what it is now, and across the street what it was. The Richland birth certificate carries a COVID-19 policy regulation service center carrying the COVID-19 policy and regulation. See, back in when John F. Kennedy was president of the United States of America, this is where he was assassinated. John F. Kennedy was killed and murdered. He left 2 months later from Richland, Washington, and he came to a extreme halt and executed in downtown Texas. Mr. John F. Kennedy was assassinated in downtown Texas, leaving his home, his family members, his children, his grandma, his grandmother, his great-grandfather, great-grandfather, great-grandmother, and left for dead. The services they have, this is the Red Robin, which is across the street. Now, Red Robin is on George Washington Way, and Red Robin's on 1021 Clemens Center Boulevard, and the service center that they have. This is where John F. Kennedy's City Hall, he was the President of the United States, and this was his City Hall, the duration. Mr. John F. Kennedy has residence and have homes and have casinos at the time of the duration of his assassination. And then John F. Kennedy was killed and executed here and left here from Richland, and then executed in Texas 2 months later. Why? Because I have the birth certificate. I have all the contents of information of about. And this is Red Robin across the street called George Washington Way, right next to Hanford House called Red Lion. Now it's called the Holiday Day Express. Now it's a Red Lion across the street. It's a Red Lion. Used to be the Red Lion, now it's called the Quality Inn. Best Holiday Express Inn, that's a Red Lion. And Red Robin right next to, and Wendy's, and also the service center of a fire station. Now all this is all gone. John F. Kennedy has been removed. All the contents of information, they try to get rid of all the information because they pretty much think they're going to get away getting rid of files in the administration office that they can't get rid of it because it belongs to says birth certificate, Felix Barela. They don't belong to them, right? So you got people attacking him on the sidewalk. You got people attacking him on service. Mr. Donald Trump experiencing pain, anguish, COVID-19. And also people lie to people because they come here in the offices in the buildings thinking they're going to take over, monopolize the situation, take presidents and service centers away, and COVID-19 policy regulations services, but not that way. Now the President of the United States came in this building, walked around this building, and they got rid of this building. People that are connected to it, they got rid of them. And in such a way of a matter of getting rid of information, been since Microsoft services, Windows 10, Bill Gates Foundation, Bill Gates himself, took their opportunity of figuring out they can getting their information by McAfee and some kind of internet Microsoft live vault protection. But when they try to get access to your information, they had nothing else to do but take the building, the internet, the cable wires out and move it right across the street. Mrs. Patty Mary, Mrs. Cantwell, COVID-19 Policy Regulation and Service Center, apply the individual system that carry the COVID-19 Service Center Administration Office. Now the City Hall that it was here now is here with a gigantic water tanker with flowers bloomed on July of 2021, carrying the COVID-19 Policy Regulation and Service. Individual sarcasm at Richland City Hall at 625 Administration Office at the Richland City Hall, and the plaquing, Administration Office, the Service Center, the applying the COVID-19 policy regulations, and all the administration offices. They carry on the ending the bid opening today at 210055 Clubhouse Lane Fiber Power Extension Project. Turn bids inside City Hall front desk to in time before 2 p.m. A Zoom meeting for public bid. Meet ID 843-2448-1316. And also 1206-337-9723, or enter meeting ID number 843-2448-1316. And also bid opening today at 21002 McPherson Water Maintenance Project. Bids will be accepted after 10 a.m. Zoom. Bids will not be accepted after 10. Before 10 a.m. Turn bids inside in the front desk. Now the City Hall in Richland, carrying the COVID-19 Policy Regulation and Service Center. Administration carrying the COVID-19 Policy and Regulation Center, carrying the COVID-19. At the front desk, an administration office carrying the COVID-19. We'll snapshot the birth certificate and employ all the array system into a download system, Microsoft's component, array services. They have a plaquing, right? C, certificate of living. Birth certificate of living, 146-1972-03475. Did you get proof from Mr. John F. Kennedy living across the street going to Richland City Hall at the time duration to execute 2 months later, downtown Texas? Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, what kind of military branch of service do you have? Oh, yeah, it's Air Force One, sir. Air Force One, Roberta V. Hernandez, Nebraska. And that's Doomsday Air Force One. And where'd you land? Oh, Texas, sir, Texas. See, we come because it's Juan M. Barela. 32 years in Texas State, Nebraska. And where was the area? Where'd your Air Force One, Air Force Doomsday plane, and also the Texas execution of Mr. John F. Kennedy? Can you prove that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Richland, Benton County. October 21st, 1970, where Red Robin resides. The City Hall administration on George Washington Way, George Washington House, and EPHRATA, Washington. The freight quarter house and bailiffs and clerks and administration office. Yeah. We got a birth certificate right here. October 21st, 1972. Roberta V. Hernandez, Nebraska. Juan Barela, Texas. 10/31/1972. Fee is 13005525. See, they got rid of that City Hall right across the street. You got proof? Oh yeah, I got proof. We'll go to the CHADWICK courthouse to a higher court. Administration office carried the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and services to a day debut. Now this is Richmond City Hall and Richmond, Washington, Health Catholic Hospital. Can you prove Air Force One? Can you prove the President of the United States of America? Can you prove his execution downtown Texas? Can you prove that the Queen's Gate, called the Hammer Road, A, B, and C, where he was executed? This is the parking lot for City Hall. You know, remember, you gotta have an ID, your military ID, social security card. You have to have your flight pass. You have to have your airport pass. You get an airport ticket, your flight destination departure date around your neck, your first, last name, and your birth certificate on, and also your UBI number, your business UBI number, because that's what higher courts are for. This is Pat Mayor and Mrs. Cantwell's office, the federal courthouse here in Richmond, Washington. The parking lot carries a gigantic vacancy available for people that go to a higher court. They have their opportunity to go to a higher court. Like, of course, Mr. Donald Trump, he's suffering anguish, pain, COVID-19, exposure to the administration office, and also the service center that Felix Barela was attacked on the sidewalk. No warrants, outstanding warrants, and I go to DHS office and put it on YouTube. Going in there and said I was attacked, and they didn't do nothing. They didn't do. I said, why don't you file a complaint? And or it has to. You got to file a complaint. You have to file a complaint, or you got to file a document. You got to put a restraining order. Officer you got to prove that this officer attacked you on YouTube in every way, shape, and form, and they know that you have any kind of recorded devices or any kind of Verizon equipment on you. They try to find one knack or another versus your device to another device. You know, the Bar Association in EPHRATA, Washington carries the just like Andy Miller, a associate's bachelor and master program that contributes to their services of their excellent skills that they retrieved and received of the duration of the Declaration of Independence, which sits here at the WSBA here at the federal courtroom. It gives you the opportunity to go to a higher court. And when you go to a higher court, Mr. Donald Trump went to hire Kurt, just like me, because I was taken in as a baby coming out of a vagina, military credentials, NATO admiral, general, markings, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Air Force One, Doomsday, presidential primary election, and primary election itself. So when Donald Trump was attacked in many ways, shape, and forms of this document that's been trying to be taken away from the administration office itself, attacking the body itself, attacking the criteria of a documentation which seals president's primary, like president after president signature, vice president signature, president signature, president and president signature. You know, there's every legality of service that they pull, appalling people, you know, shocking people, and showing the document, present the evidence that the service of their services increments that they sit there and try to take it from individuals and walk off with it and say they're the owner or they're the representative, and come to it. They had a gigantic episode of rioting, starting riots on sidewalks. And starting confrontations that portray their services as increments of service of the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and service center applied to individual service by the administration office at the Kennedy James, which is the administration office to carry the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and service center here in Chadwick, the United States courthouse that's deliberated for the 825 Chadwick, which is a higher court that carry the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and service center. You know, the birth certificate that carries the contents of information needed necessary person for any opportunity of individual trying to This is the United States Court Service and Administration Office carrying the COVID-19 policy document. As you can see, it's pretty legible. It's understanding. Andy Miller, 509-735-2591. Fax, 509-736-306. Schultz, Tabra, Wallace, Administration Office, 56 T Street, 86 876. Afraid to watch 98823.